broadcasting and streaming live all across America. This is HomeTalkUSA with Michael King, where we will discuss topics pertaining to your home with industry-leading experts. Michael King is a licensed general contractor with more than 30 years of experience in home improvements and the author of Contracting with the King. Join us this hour for our segment Invent America with your co-host, the Inventor Lady Rita Crompton. Discover what's next in the home improvement industry and explore new products and innovations. Or if you have that next great big idea, learn what it takes to bring your invention to the world. As Michael King and Rita Crompton talk to America's inventors and innovators. Remember, the America of tomorrow is being invented today. We invite you to visit us at HomeTalkUSA.com, one of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, we proudly present Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country, Home Talk USA, with your host, the Cajun contractor, Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
Hey, welcome to Home Talk USA, right here on the Home Improvement Broadcasting Network. Don't forget, we are streaming live on the World Wide Web at HomeTalkUSA.com. This is the Invent America show, part of the Home Talk USA radio family. And now I'd like to welcome my sidekick and my partner in crime. That's right, you heard crime. Yeah, she's on the line right now. Miss Rita Crompton, the Inventor Lady herself. And she's starting to niche out her own identity now. They know who the Inventor Lady is. So, like she said, America invents, and she wants to invent. Rita, how you doing? It's been a week since I talked with you. Y'all miss me?
Oh, I do miss you every time I don't get to listen to you. So it is really good to be on the radio with you and touch base and see where the new exciting stuff is going.
Yeah, that's true. Right now, there's a lot of things going on, and just trying to get an update. And I just got to tell my audience, you've approached well over 100 episodes now, and it went by very fast, didn't it? Like
yes, it did.
100 episodes. That's amazing.
I know.
And so we're still out here fighting the fight every day and fighting the economy every day and trying to save people money, trying to get their products to market, explaining them how to, that blueprint that I think our blueprint now is starting to be very successful, and it's starting to be copied off of people. And everybody, I know, asked you, Reed, and asked me, and what do you think about people copying your blueprint? I mean, at the end of the day,
it's the greatest form
of flattery to say, I got to copy something. Because, you know, when I decided to do this, we talked about this. The biggest injustice they have out there is to have a product that really can change people's lives, but it's never going to get to market. Yeah. Never going to get to market due to financial reasons or bad management or, like you say, crooked copyright attorneys. Well, I know they're going to light up on the attorneys. Well, you'll call attorneys crooked. You know, well, at the end of the day, you're the first one to take their money. So, you know, but you need them. But the point is, but I want you to talk about the false dependence on AI in the result. And now we're going to get serious here. Well, because AI is now starting, artificial intelligence now is starting to affect everything.
It is. Well, and we've been using it for years. I just don't know that people actually realize that when you do a Google search, you're using artificial intelligence. So we've been using it for a long time. It's the dependency on one search engine that can be a killer. And when someone tries to sell you an artificial intelligence service, like doing a search, all right, it's easy to manipulate things. And so you've got to take it in stride. We know that, Google patents is artificial intelligence, but it only shows about 1/3 of what's really out there. So if that's your only artificial intelligence that you're using, you've got a problem. The other big one we see is when they use AI, they buy a template to do their own intellectual property, their own patent, and they fill in the blanks. Well, if I can read it and circle the words you filled in, so can a judge. You get thrown out. Well, so things, you've got to be careful.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you there, and I have to admit something on the air right now. When you brought me this topic early part of last week and said, because I let you do your topic, what you want to discuss because it's very important, and you said you want to talk about the false dependence on AI. I said, what? and then I owe you credit because I'm going to tell you why. And now I'm getting into politics now because I have to make this statement. We all know what happened 2.5 weeks ago when somebody almost took our ex-president out. Okay, we already know what happened. But about a week later, I went to Google, and you heard they're probably going to put me on the ban list now, but I went to Google. They actually denied this ever happened because you have a programmer that goes in there and controls what you just said. You hit it on the head and said what they want that information when you type it in for the artificial intelligence to pick it up.
Right.
Now, since then, they had to make some corrections. There's a big stink going on right now, but that's a show for another day. But the point is, I got to give you credit because now I understood what you were talking about because I'm reading it myself on something that they're denying even happened. They took it off.
It's a tool. It's a tool. It's a tool.
Go.
And it's only good as the person using the tool. If you're using a hammer and you hit your finger with it, it hurts. If you're using your artificial intelligence tool incorrectly, it's going to hurt. And just like anything else, it can be manipulated.
It can be manipulated. There you go. You said it right there. It can be manipulated.
So
I'm sorry, I'm not a happy camper right now. I'm not happy. You can see that. I'm really getting off track here.
I can tell.
Some national network needs to pick me up and let me get on there and start explaining things. That at the end of the day, I'm just looking for great, honest information. When you type something in, we're going to have faith on the search engines to provide that information that you're looking for. Unredacted on which way, no influence is what I'm saying. Because now we're getting the influence on these products are going to start influencing these products. And I don't want nothing to influence these products. I either want to say, okay, this is a great product that's going to change our life. And on the flip side of the corner, and I've done it before, this is not great, people. This is not great. And as long as I don't collect a check, I can tell the people the truth. You understand what I'm saying? So
absolutely. And I mean, that's what we try to do on Invent America on our segment is to let people know, don't use just one tool. When you get those invention promotion companies that say they can do everything. And I had one not too long ago that, the gentleman was locked in. He was locked into the contract. And it's like, I can't undo that contract. And so artificial intelligence can do the same thing as far as leading an inventor that has a potentially great product down the wrong road. And, it's not that you don't use it. You have to be aware that you've got to use multiple sources,
and then
you
research.
Still got to go back to the people. You've still got to use people because people are where it's at. They're going to be your buyers, and they're going to be the ones that help you, and they're going to give you the information, and they're going to say, "Whoop, be careful of this," and then you get to decide, the best way to go. But you've got to have more information to work with than just one source of artificial intelligence.
And I think that's why a radio show comes in, right?
I do.
It comes in. We're going to put out the information, and we're not going to be biased. We're not going to take your check. And I tell people the other day, there's a lot of things that go behind the scenes. I get accused on Twitter. Just read all the, hey, if you want to come on Home Talk on Invent America, just write them a check. You can get on, and King is going to tell people what they want to hear and tell them, no, I've never collected a check. We don't collect a check for people just to come on the show. We're not a pay-to-play network, so we can be independent on our. And look, I can't influence what you do, Rita. You got your own opinions, just like I have my opinion. But at the end of the day, we can have a conversation to help our audience and help our contractor and give them the information that they need to make that intelligent decision. And when you make an intelligent decision, what happens, Rita? You're going to save money.
You have a better outcome. You're going to save money.
Better outcome. There you go.
Better chance of success. We're going to see your product out there on TikTok Shop or Amazon or in Home Depot. But that's when you get there.
And our sponsors, we have to have sponsors. We're in the radio business. And,
and
our sponsors have to, but we vet our sponsors and we vet. And I tell you, I've probably been to 3,000 sponsors in 27 years. And at the end of the day, I've only had two. I'm serious, that I regretted putting on, that I can only investigate so much. But I'm not going to mention who they are. But at the end of the day, I found out that they were not good, and I pulled them. So my audience knows that, my listeners know that. But Rita, we got about a minute left and we have to take a short break. You've got a great show and we're going to come back and talk a little bit more. And I think we're going to have some guests up. So stay tuned right here. This is Home Talk USA. Don't forget, episode 46 is going on right now on Home Talk TV. Trim a slab. That's right. We're going to check out how to fix and replace the rotten wood found in your driveways and sidewalks. And it installs really fast. Check it out, trimaslab.com. Check out episode 46 at HomeTalkTV.com. So we're going to take a short break right here on the Home Improvement Broadcasting Network. Don't forget, we are streaming live on the World Wide Web. I'm going to come back with my partner in crime, the Inventor Lady herself, Rita Crompton. You're listening to Home Talk USA right here. Y'all come back now, you hear? Hey, welcome back to Home Talk USA. Don't forget, we are streaming live on the World Wide Web along with me and the Inventor Lady herself, Rita Crompton. Don't forget, this segment of Home Talk is sponsored by Aztec Washer, revolutionary, innovative roofing products since 1968. Seal it right, seal it tight with AztecWasher.com. All right, Rita, a lot going on. Great topics. Who's our first guest?
Our first guest today is Ian Osborn. I have known Ian for a long time. He is a brilliant inventor. And he's got this cool new golf product, Golf Tonight, and it is amazing. And we're working at licensing it. So Ian, tell our listeners a little bit about Golf Tonight. And you are on the market, correct?
Correct. I am.
Excellent. Okay, so tell everybody, what is Golf Tonight and where can they go get it?
So we're taking a proprietary golf ball that glows in the dark. It is not battery operated. It actually has proprietary luminescent material mixed in with a golf ball. They come in two flavors, a permanent range ball, and we also have a tournament style ball. For this application, we are using the range ball series so that you go out to a driving range and you have these boxes set up, and the boxes hold 250 golf balls, and they supercharge them in less than 90 seconds, and they take the luminescent properties that are built into the golf ball and supercharge them really high intensity levels of glow. Take them out of golf ball or golf box, and then you hit them like a normal driving range golf ball, but you're aiming for targets out in the distance. You can see these golf balls fly through the entire arc all the way down, hit the ground, and rolling away up to 400 yards away. So as long as you can see it at night, you can see the golf ball glowing the entire time. The ball glows for approximately 8 to 12 hours total time, and they are rechargeable indefinitely inside of the machine. We sell them on nightgolfsystems.net, and we have them currently at multiple golf courses around the United States. We've got a new golf course coming up in 2 months in California that will be adding in 10 boxes to start with, and then another 10 boxes right after that for their driving range.
Excellent. That is so cool. So the topic that we're kind of going through today is artificial intelligence. All right, AI, it serves a purpose, but boy, it can be really misleading. So what have you found in your experience as an inventor and a businessman on how it can be good and how it can be really a kick in the tuchus?
Well, to me, it's just like Google search engine. If you do not know the correct right parameters to plug into the AI interface, you can get the most bizarre outcomes that you never even thought possible. Some of them are cool. Some of them are, I don't think I would ever have thought of that in my wildest dreams. But AI, it literally, again, people don't understand the fact that AI it doesn't know what to do until we put something into it. So it's, in my eyes, it's not truly artificial intelligence because we have to give it something to start with. And without something to start, it doesn't know what to do.
And, for an inventor, you don't know about how to write a utility patent because you didn't go to law school. So when you go in and you do a search, for an example, if you search automobile, but the attorney put in mode of transportation, guess what? You're missing all of those patents that might not actually list automobile, but listed under mode of transportation. Well, now you've got the bumps and the bruises when you say, oh, it's never been done before. It's like, hello, go out and sit on the highway, because we're dealing with it all the time. So you're right, and it's only as good as what you're putting into it to get the results.
Right.
And if it's been set up to manipulate you, then it's not even as good as the results you're getting, because it's manipulating you.
Right. And that's one of the factors that I think that people don't seem to understand, is that what goes in comes out. So whatever you put in it, you're going to get something based off of that input. And if you choose the wrong word, whether it be semantics or it's like tomatoes and tomatoes, they're spelled the same, but people say it two different ways. So that's what happens with AI. It can take it one way and give you something that has nothing to do with what you asked for. So it has issues and limitations, because again, I don't think it's truly artificial yet.
Right. I mean, it's like, when you go to your doctor and say, well, I Googled it, and the doctor gets really cranky. It's because, you're only as good as what you're putting in for the results. And, oh, yeah, you didn't go to school to become an MD. So putting the stuff in and then telling your doctor what he's supposed to be doing, really seems kind of silly. And it's the same thing with searches. It's the same thing with patents. It's the same thing, just even looking for a product. I mean, if you go to Amazon and you put in the wrong words, you're not even going to get the product you're looking in. There might be 15 different versions of the same product, but because you put in the wrong words, that what you put into it is not necessarily intelligent.
Right. And then you go down a rabbit hole.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's like so many of my inventors, it's like, well, I did my own search. And then, SearchQuest does a search for them, and we find a half a dozen things that are dead on. And, I had a gentleman not too long ago, and that was one of the things that sparked this, was that he was saying, well, I'm a genius level, and I've been doing this, and there's nothing else out there like it. And holy cow, he had his search done, and we found at least a dozen of things that were, if not exactly, too close. And he goes, no, you're wrong. It's like, it's right here in front of you. I sent you the pages with the links. Go link on it and look at it. But he wasn't searching internationally. He wasn't looking for things that were out there in the marketplace, but that weren't showing up at the USPTO yet. And he wasn't putting in the right words. I mean, he was making all the classic errors. And so for somebody that, he just thought that he was so intelligent, he really blew it.
I can be the smartest man in the world, but when it comes to looking for something via patents or regardless, if you're searching something, it's like, oh, I got my horse blinders on. I'm focused on what I know I have in my head. I know what I designed, and I'm going to ask for what I believe in my head is what it is. And it's not going to come out what it's supposed to be.
Well, our clock is ticking down for us, and that is not artificial. It's right here in front of me. What advice do you have for inventors?
Man, I've used SearchQuest, and it is well worth the money and the time, because, again, I don't have all the answers, and I don't have all the correct questions to ask when I'm looking for a search. And they go through it, and they think outside of the box. And that's one of the things that, my company, Wild Ideas, we do things out of the box. And you need another person to be able to go outside of the box with you in order to be able to find something down the road in your patents.
Well, thank you, Ian, so much. We are going to take a quick break, everyone, and we are coming back with Leland Black, the inventor of EcoDripper, another brilliant product to have out there in the marketplace. So stick with us, because we will be right back after we go and pay some bills. Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for being with us this afternoon on Invent America, where we help America's inventors get through that testiness of getting things to market. And believe me, it can be a test of your bank account as well as your determination. And we want to answer all the questions that we can to help give you the right path to go down. Sometimes you can change your path, but the sooner we get you on the right track, the better off you will be and the faster you will get to market. And by the way, ASD Market Week is coming up for Invent America in 6 months. It's amazing how fast that 6 months is going to go. So if you're an inventor out there or you know an inventor who should be at the largest trade show in America, have them get in touch because we're signing people up right now. And I also want to thank Noah McNeely with Product Quick Start for his help with a lot of our inventors who went to the show last year. And I would imagine he'll have a few products there as well this year. So right now we are talking about artificial intelligence. We all use it, even if we don't know we're using it. I'm particularly fond of Google Maps because I couldn't get around in these hills if I didn't have that little blue dot showing me where to go. But there are times when it leads me down a path that's got a dead end at the bottom of it. So I know that I should always carry a paper map with me. My next guest, Lee, tell us about EcoDripper.
Thank you, Rita. It's always a pleasure. EcoDripper is an invention of mine where I wanted to build something that plants could actually feed themselves. And learning from the water department in California, they did all the tests and says that the plant roots have the same suction as the vacuum cleaner. And I'm like, really? He's, yeah. So we build our device to work with that. So when those roots want water and they're starting to siphon water out of the soil and they come about 3 inches away from those roots, my device sits down in there and it will literally siphon out of the pond inside of my device and where the roots are only when those roots want water. So there is no guessing what plants need anymore. Let's let them decide.
I think that's an excellent idea because I have got some succulents that I keep killing. And I know if I had EcoDripper that I would not kill them as quickly.
Yeah, because I always thought that your roots just sit there and water just hits them and then it feeds the plant. I didn't realize that they had a suction to pull water through to get it where they wanted to. So it was really exciting to see how it worked.
And I bet you that didn't show up on an artificial intelligence search, did it? You actually had to go and figure it out.
That's right. I don't like the artificial intelligence search when I do a product. I have the mentality to go out and ask people, let me know what you think. Tell me what you've seen, because they see more than me, half of them. So I want to know what's out there. And that's when I start my inventions. I go out and ask people.
Yeah, I know we had a lot of inventors that were in the early phases last year at ASD Market Week. And one of the things, they had all used Google search to do things. And then they went ahead and they used SearchQuest. But the difference then was the people that came and talked to them and gave them suggestions. That only happened because they were there face to face talking to people and getting their feedback. They weren't getting that on a search engine or a Google search or on Amazon or any place else online.
No, it's amazing what people know out there. You never knew that they knew, what they know. Like one of my partners is a farmer, and man, the knowledge he has in his industry has really helped me on a lot of things that I never even knew existed or how it worked or didn't exist. He's like, oh, that does not exist, buddy. We've got to do that, So
that's
yes,
so cool.
Face to face.
So tell me some of the things in your world that have changed. You said a lot's been going on.
A lot has been going on. Well, we finally got somebody that would take my product to the hardware shows, the A shows, and we started talking numbers and realizing the numbers they got to have because I'm made in America. So my numbers are a lot higher than being made in Taiwan, Japan, and Mexico. And so we realized that they said, we'll double your number. And then the person who connected you to them wants 15% of that number also, which is a huge part of your product. You're like, I'm not going to make any blooming money. And so I was talking and they says, well, did you know that half those people go to like Mexico or Taiwan and get their product built that way to sell to the big boxes? And then Made in America is sold to the real product, to your little stores. And DeWalt came up to be one of those companies. We found out the A store here in town, this guy fixed DeWalt's tools. And he says, I quit doing it because half their tools are built in Mexico to sell to Home Depot, Lowe's, and the big box. And the other ones are built for their DeWalt suppliers. So it happens. It's amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's challenging because we see that tug of war of manufacturing. People want to manufacture in the US. It was just like Wendy, I'm going to have her on in a couple of weeks. And for her, she got the pricing right, but the shipping, because her product is heavy, the shipping was just going to kill her. And so she had to, regroup and look at, making in the US, because shipping it from overseas was going to double the cost of the product.
Yeah, so I found out it ain't worth my time using that person to get out there. Even though they have a huge network, it's better for me to go out there myself and go to those shows and get those contacts, because it is such a huge cost difference that it's worth the time of the show. I found out it is worth paying for the show.
I know. So you're going to be going with us, right?
I'm trying to. We're figuring that out right now and talking. So I will let you know.
All right.
See, right now, as far as artificial intelligence, and you're speaking on that, the only way we're using it right now is through Amazon and a company called Eva, and that's what they use. And it's amazing. I mean, it's defined for a certain purpose, and it's been a real good thing for us.
All right. Well, let me ask you this then. Have you tried TikTok Shop?
No, we haven't yet. We decided to go gung-ho and do the Eva because they're the biggest company on Amazon that starts a new product and going, and they have really made it start going for us. We've 3 times size since we started using 3 months ago. So
excellent. Well, you can do TikTok Shop as well for another outlet. Their costs are less. They are they will charge you less. And if you need a fulfillment company, the Packwell Manufacturing fulfill for TikTok.
Oh, okay.
So that's another. See what we do here for all of America Inventors is that we make connections for you. And that is just so cool when we realize, oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about because we introduced you. And so that is wonderful. What's next for you and for EcoDripper?
EcoDripper is finding the right source of sales. Like we're growing in our store sales. We decided that we did stands, and the stands don't handle very good in the moisture in the nurseries. So we're going to go for a shelf product. We actually sell it in a starter kit now and a 3-pack, 5-pack, which sits on the shelf and works great. It saves us cost-wise is trying to create those stands, which we can't charge the store. So it's an $80 out of our pocket each time. So now we're going to be saving that by just making it a shelf product. So that's the advancement we're doing there. And then working on a smaller EcoDripper for the 4-inch pots. And we've got a few of them out there being tested, and they're working really nice.
Well, that is wonderful. Where can someone get you now? What stores are you in?
I am in IFA, which is through the state of Utah, Idaho and area that way, Intermountain Farmers. I'm in a few Ace Hardwares around the area. And then I'm on Amazon, big time on Amazon. So find me there, and Shopify, which is ecodripper.com. So that's where I'm at.
Excellent. All right. And so what is the next show that you are going to go to so that if somebody out there is listening and they happen to be going to the same show, they can stop in and say hi?
I am not sure because I've already finished one and we have not sat down to discuss the next. So our funds have been a little tight because of all the new things we're putting in and trying to keep product up. So we are just discussing that. And so I'm hoping to give you some good news. So
I'm hoping you will too, because you know what? We're sending out notices. Oh gosh, probably in the next couple of days.
Yeah,
and giving everybody.
Last year was great. Just letting everybody know it did work and it was awesome.
So, well, and it was wonderful to have you. You were a wonderful addition to our team that was out there. And part of it was because, your product was far enough along. You could not only sell product and take orders, but you could give advice.
Yep.
And sometimes the best information an inventor can get is
from another one.
From another inventor. Exactly. So that is one of the things that we always look at our meetings and with Invent America Radio. So again, if you are out there and you've got someone in your family, a neighbor, married to an inventor, or someone who wants to become an inventor, have them tune in. All of our episodes are online. We're streaming on 8 different platforms. They can join the Inventor Roundtable meetings. It's always free for the inventor. So join, ask the questions. That's kind of our call-in version of the show. And we love to see new inventors coast to coast on our virtual meetings. So stick with us, everyone. We have got our industry expert, Michael Miller, coming up here in just a couple of minutes.
Hey, welcome back. That's right. This is Invent America show on the Home Talk USA radio family. Don't forget, this segment of the show is sponsored by, that's right, Made in America. Welcome back. This show is, again, Liberty Tabletop by Sherrill Manufacturing, America's only flatware made in the U.S. For all your flatware, dinnerware, cookware, glassware, think Liberty Tabletop at libertytabletop.com. Reed, I tell you that Bill, he has a lot of stuff going on there, and I hope he can join us at the the Market Week.
ASD Market Week coming up in March. And I know March 2025, but it will roll around really, really fast. So we've had a lot of people say, oh, yes, we want to come. I have clients. So, yeah, we're getting them lined up.
I understand you got our friend Michael Miller ready to go, huh? Well,
yes, I do. Yes, I do. Michael, thank you so much for joining us today. I have known you for a long time, since we started working on Disposal Genie together, 15 years ago?
Oh, at least that. Yes, absolutely.
So, and that was a great product to get into all of the Home Depots. I know I went into a Home Depot one time and they said, do we have anything in this store? Because I wanted to meet with them and, get some opinions on some different products. Do we have anything in this store that we'd recognize as yours? And I go, Disposal Genie. And he goes, oh my God, can you be here at 8:00 tomorrow morning? So yes, it's been a really good product. Thank you so much for joining us today. The disadvantages of putting all of your eggs into an AI basket. You've done this for a long time. You've seen some of the mistakes. Share with us some of that expertise in just how limiting artificial intelligence can be for an inventor.
Excellent. Thank you, Rita. One of the biggest areas around artificial intelligence that's also a concern around regular search engines like Google and things like that, is that it's only as good as the information that it's able to access. And so part of that is really looking at the information that it can't see, which is products that are not patented. And so that's a big issue that a lot of people run into, is there's a lot of products out there that have never had a patent, that have been around for hundreds of years, especially whenever you talk about hardware type products and things like that. They will never find those. And you had even mentioned earlier about international patents. Unless you're specifically searching for that, you will not see them. And if you start going down that path, it can be really bad.
Well, we get a lot of inventors who will have their SearchQuest search done after they've already filed their provisional and they've spent thousands of dollars on a prototype. And then I'll ask them, did you have a comprehensive search done? And they say, well, my attorney did a search. Well, your attorney only does the USPTO, and they can't see the 2.5-year blind spot either, and they're not going to waste the time, and you don't want to pay them their hourly rate to just start searching around on websites and stuff like that. So when they get a search done where the searcher's gone to, not just the USPTO, but they've gone internationally and they've started looking for products and websites and videos on YouTube and all those other places where people go early and they start finding stuff. And like you said, a product doesn't have to be patented to go to market. And so there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things out there that are part of the public domain, and the same thing with international. And unless somebody's looking for them, you have just wasted tens of thousands of dollars getting a product teed up that you either get a cease and desist on it, or you can't negotiate to tell somebody you got to stop.
And the U.S. Patent Office, the USPTO, they just put out guidance here in April. That is how fast this is changing. And what they are allowing, what they're not allowing, you need to really make sure that your patent attorney that you're working with really is on the cusp and understanding what those changes are and making sure they don't make any of those mistakes. If you go and have artificial intelligence fill out your patent forms, that's been disallowed for certain parts of a patent. There's a lot of things that are rapidly changing within this whole AI and patents.
Well, and that's good to know. I'm glad of that part of it, simply because I would get so many inventors say, well, I bought a program that all I've got to do is tell it what I'm inventing and it'll write the patent for me. It's like, no, you can't do that. But they don't know. They don't know unless we tell them.
That's right. And that's why this type of information. Thank you so much for putting it out there, Rita, because this is really what people really need to understand.
So everybody out there that is listening to me and to Michael King and Michael Miller, we have so many mics related to this show, and love every single one of you. But what we do is to really give you the guidance on where to go, ask the right questions of the service provider, give you vetted service providers so that you are able to get the best information possible. And a lot of times when we look at, and I'll get someone that says, well, it's kind of like this, but it's better. That's what we want to know. What is the difference? Why is your product better? And artificial intelligence is not intelligent enough to see the nuances of why one thing should get a patent and something else should not.
That's right. Rita, you made a good point.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, we need to be wrapping up right quick. Rita, Mike, thank you so much. How do we learn a little bit more about you again?
Well,
for me?
Yes, you.
So for me, you can reach out to me via email, michael.innovation@att.net. And you can always reach me through Rita if you have any specific questions for me. And I'm on LinkedIn as well, and I get an awful lot of communications via LinkedIn every day.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rita, this was a great hour, constantly expanding our blueprint. And that's what we're trying to do, is constantly expand it. But Rita, I tell you, I can't wait till next week. We are going to have some new topics to discuss, and we just want our audience. But don't forget, at the top of the hour, hey, we have our friend Greg Owens. He's going to be be joining me on Home Talk USA and Made in America. So till next week, Rita, hey, I'll let you sign it off, Rita.
My pleasure, everyone. If you are out there and you are an inventor or you know an inventor, please have them get in touch and go as a consumer and buy some of these wonderful products.
Till next week. Ça, c'est le bon temps relais. Yahoo! See ya.